It was always my ardent desire to come back home and serve my community. Hello, I am Dr. Shardell Murray, and I am your state representative for District 116, serving Charleston and Colleton County. And I humbly seek your support November 8th to re-elect me, Dr. Shardell Murray, for your next state representative. You want someone who's compassionate, who knows the wants and needs and the desire of the people in the area, and someone who will fight for you. So let me continue to be your voice on November 8th. Please go out and support me, Dr. Shardell Murray, for your next state representative. And experience matters at the Capitol. So I know what it takes to make a community thrive. So I'm humbly seeking.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime. What's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show special Election Day edition, part one. So we're going to do two shows today. This is part one. The polls are still open all across America. Here in South Carolina, polls are closed at 7 o'clock. I believe in Chicago, polls closed at 7. In Michigan, I believe polls close at 8 o'clock. So I just wanted to jump on. Please subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. Normally, I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But today, I'm coming to you 4 o'clock for part one, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Then I'm going to come back 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to have some guests of mine. I got some friends of the show. Up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you got a huge election. You got Mandela Barnes running to be in the U.S. Senate. Brother, United States Senator up in Wisconsin. Michigan, very important races. My number one co-host, Keela Carson, is going to join me. Also, I got two guys, hopefully, two friends of the show that are going to be able to join me. Walt Love and Harrison, my man Harrison D. Kern. They have been guests on the show. And right here in South Carolina, I got my good buddy A.J. Davis here on the ground putting that work in the streets. So, polls open in most cities at 7 o'clock. So the polls have been open now for more than half a day. I'm coming on, and I want everybody to do me a favor. I want you to share this, copy and paste the link, tag it, share this episode of the show. All right? I don't want you to feel a sense of desperation. I don't want you to feel despair. I don't want you to be discouraged. I don't want you to be apathetic, hopeless. I don't want you to don't care. I don't want you to say, I don't care. Because that is what the people who want your demise and destruction, the people who do not want to just share power. Because we're not trying to take all the power, everybody's power. We just say, you got to share it. We've got a say. We got a voice, and we have a right to have a say in our future in this country, this thing called a democracy. Because you've got a cult. You've got a cult that doesn't want a democracy. They want a dictatorship. They want to take this country back to like the 1820s. So, and especially I want to address everybody, but especially my young brothers and sisters, my young millennials, my young Gen Zers, and especially I want to address my young black men because they've really been targeted in a different kind of way. Because they've been targeted. You've had people on social media, on all kind of platforms, from Twitter and Facebook, and TikTok, posing like they're black folks, like they would, all about social justice. Folks over in Russia, all over the world, folks here that are truly anti-black, are just totally racist, anti-black, anti-everything. White nationalists, white Christian nationalists, who a lot of them calling for a race war, but they're trying to pit black folks against each other. They're trying to pit black men against black women. They're trying to pit black people against Jewish people, and black people against Hispanic people, black people against Asian people. Oh, it's a sinister game. Oh, it is cold-blooded. Divide and conquer because they know it can work if we let it work. So be very careful what you see on social media, be very careful of what you share on social media. I always tell you, you don't have to believe me. I come with receipts, but I tell you to get your own receipts. Do your own homework. Google it yourself. Yeah, I have my opinions, but with my opinions, I guarantee you, I got some receipts, partner. I'm coming with receipts because I'm that dude, I'm that person that hates to be wrong. I don't like to be wrong. And if I find out I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, you know what? My bad. I apologize. Because saying I'm sorry and apologizing is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. The real man is man enough. His constitution is strong and firm enough to where if you're wrong, you can say I was wrong. Because none of us know everything. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care what university you went to. I don't care how many universities you attended. Nobody knows everything. And as my grandfather, who was the wisest person, who quit school in 3rd grade to get a job and help take care of his mom and his 2 younger brothers. Most intelligent, wisest person to this day, who passed away 30 some odd years ago, was born in 1888, lived to be nearly 100, would say you never get too old to learn. So I'm going to give it to you straight. So if you see people on social media or in person or in a barber shop or wherever, sitting around watching a game or wherever you may be, in a VIP section, partying up in Vegas, down on South Beach, if you see people telling you, nah, don't vote. It don't matter. Your vote don't count. They gonna do what they gonna do anyway. Well, they can do what they gonna do anyway if we allow them to do that. Because you got the power. Today is a one day that you have as much power as Bill Gates. You got as much power as Elon Musk, who just spent he's worth $44 billion. I think he spent like $44 billion to buy Twitter. All that wasn't his money, by the way. That's a whole different conversation. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. Today, you got as much power as they do when you go and vote. So I want you to just don't even listen, tune out these polls that you're going to hear like on all these different cable news stations or regular networks. Tune them out. Trust me, because they don't know. And a lot of these polls that they are using, they get a hold of what they call some junk polls or bad polls. The only poll that matters is the poll that you attend when you go vote. That's the one poll that matters. And if you show up, democracy wins. And young people, my millennials and Gen Zers, listen, here's the secret that they don't want you to know. It's not even a secret. You have the power. Bet on yourself. Believe in yourself. You are the future, and the future is right here, right now. So vote today. So take your boy who don't vote, sitting around, think my vote don't count, man. These people ain't done nothing for me. Well, actually, some folks have done stuff for you, but you haven't. No, talk to some people who got student loan debt, and that $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan debt that's going to be canceled. Pell Grant debt canceled. Talk to them. Hell, some of you all that's sitting around that's got some of the student loan debt that's about to be canceled. Or talk to the people in your family, or maybe it was you, that was getting the $250 to $300 a month in the child tax credit. That if the MAGA cult and Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema didn't get in the way, you would still be getting those child tax credits. So if you get brothers in there like Reverend Raphael Warnock, as opposed to this embarrassment to humankind, Herschel Walker with his jackass, who is allowing himself to be used to oppress his own people. And he's good with it. But that's the history. You've seen the movie Django. If you haven't, there's a character. Samuel Jackson played the character. The character's name was Steven. That character, Samuel Jackson's character, was more racist than Leonardo DiCaprio, the Candy Man. That was so like slave master. The plantation was called like Candyland. I think his character's name was Mr. Candy. But Samuel Jackson was more racist than the Candy Man, the plantation owner. Oh, that N-word, don't trust that N-word. So we know there's always have been people like that. They will always find those who want to promote anti-blackness, racism in all of its forms, and the same thing, anti-Semitism, anti-immigrant, translation, anti-Mexican. Because Hispanics are very diverse. You know, they come Cuba, from the Caribbean, Central America, South America. So that's a whole different conversation. But they're not crazy about brown folks coming here, but they'll have us hating on each other. Same for Asian Americans, Native Americans, other immigrants. So let me address my millennials and my Gen Zers. My millennials are roughly born between, y'all would be born between, I'd say, 80 something, I'd say, 81. Millennials are born roughly between 1981 and 1996. Gen Zers are born, Generation Z. They were born from like 1997 to 2012. I got a daughter that's a millennial, and I got a daughter that's a Gen Z, or just turned 21. You all have the power. And the people that don't want to share power, because we're not trying to take your power, but you have to share power, because we got a say in this thing called democracy. But these people that don't want to share power, they don't want a democracy. They want a dictatorship. They want a cult. They want to be able to tell you what you can do with your body. They want to tell women, well, you know what? You ain't having enough white babies. So we're going to ban abortion, and we're going to ban birth control pills, and get ready for this one, fellas. Sit down. They coming for condoms too. They're going to ban all forms of birth control if they get in power. Now, this is not my opinion. You know why it's not my opinion? Because they've said it. This cult and these people who don't believe in democracy, who are disguising themselves as politicians, even though a true politician understands that a politician is a public servant, and a public servant's job is to serve the public and to do everything and to pass laws to make the public's life better. Not their own, but to make the people that they serve, the general public, everybody's life better. So millennials, you make up, millennials, you all are the largest group of Americans by age. You're like 22% of the population, even more than the baby boomers, because for a long time, baby boomers, they made up the largest group of Americans. Now millennials, they're more millennials than any other age group. And guess what? Gen Zers, there are just as many Gen Zers as there are baby boomers. About 21% of baby boomers, 21% of the country are Gen Zers. Generation Z. 22% are millennials. So my young brothers and sisters, you have the power. Like that song I told you about from the 90s, Snap. I got the power. You got the power. Use it. So when you hear a brother or sister, and I target the brothers because, like I said, there's been a really systematic, a sinister campaign to discourage black men, to create more apathy and despair and hopelessness, and to get them to turn on each other and turn on black women and turn on believing in democracy. Now, democracy has not worked for black men like it has for white men. And here's the truth. Democracy hadn't worked for anybody the way it's worked for white, wealthy men. As a matter of fact, the Constitution set it up originally the only people that could vote. And this was written in the original Constitution. The only people that could vote, the only people who had a say in this democracy were wealthy, white, male, Christian landowners. Now, the Christian part wasn't in the Constitution, but it eventually came down to that. That's the only, and part of this cult wants to take it back to where the only people whose vote counts are wealthy, white, Christian men. Turn America from a democracy to what they call a theocracy, like a religious government, kind of like what you see in Iran and Iraq, where if you're not a certain type of Muslim, if you don't practice a certain type of Islam, then we can put you in jail, we might kill you, we're going to oppress you, because we believe our way is the only way. And if you think that can't happen here, be careful, because democracies, they can slip away like that, because it's already been slipping, already slipping. You've got like 400 election deniers running for office, and some of these election deniers are going to win, unfortunately, today. And some of them had said openly. There's a dude in Wisconsin running for some office that said, if I get in office, I think he's running for governor. If I get in office, a Republican will never lose again in Wisconsin. Really? Even if a Republican gets less votes than the Democrat or the Independent, they still not going to lose? That's not a democracy. And your boy Orange Hitler is about to announce that he wants to run for president again in 2024. So I'm going to need you to get your mind right. Young people, especially millennials, Gen Zers, you all got the power. So disregard what you see on social media, even though it may look like it's coming from a black person. They can screen grab a black person's picture and put it up on their profile page and use all the language, all the lingo, all the slang. They'll try to use the language of the culture and the community. Sitting somewhere up in Russia or sitting somewhere up in Idaho with a swastika and a Confederate flag behind them on the keyboard, but you can't see him. Sowing dissension and confusion, trying to create division and despair between us as black people and between us, black men and black women and black people and Jewish people and black people and Asian people and black people and Native American people and black people and Mexican Americans or Hispanic Americans, Dominican, Puerto Rican, from Central America, from Colombia, from South America, from wherever. Oh, it's a sinister game, but I'm putting you up on game. As the brothers used to say back in the day on the south side of Chicago. So yo, young boy, young man, I'm gonna put you up on game. It means he's gonna educate you. He's gonna tell you something. He's gonna open your eyes. He's gonna give you some knowledge that could help you. In most cases, in some cases not so. But the older brothers, that that was their way of being mentor. Hey man, I'm gonna put you up on game and tell you about something. No, don't do that. Don't go that way. Some of them had been in trouble before, and that was their way of giving back. Hey man, I want to put you up on game. Don't get in the gang. Don't go that path. I went down that path, and it didn't turn out well for me, and I don't want that to happen to you. So I'm putting you up on game and telling you that you've got the power. And anybody that tells you you don't have the power and that your vote don't count, you need to get away from their ass, look at them sideways, and keep it moving. Because they are ignorant or intentionally trying to deceive you and lie to you. Maybe they believe that themselves. But you can try to have this conversation I had with them, but sometimes people intentionally try to deceive you. And all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And there was a song back in the day called Smiling Faces, sometimes they don't tell the truth. Smiling faces can lie, and I got proof. That's a heavy song. Google it. Undisputed Truth. Smiling Faces. The lyrics were woo-hoo-hoo. I remember as a little kid when that song came out in the 70s. It was something I didn't necessarily, I could, even then I could understand. Not fully, but it was simple. Straight, no chaser. The Bacardi without the Coke, we're not going to cut it. Bacardi without the Coke, no chaser. 151 with no ice. Or as my grandfather and brother Joe Madison would say on Sirius XM Urban View, put it where the ghost can get it, right there. Smiling faces, smiling faces. They don't always tell the truth. Smiling faces can lie. So be very careful. Somebody telling you not to step into your power, you've got the power. And millennials and Gen Zers, you got the power because you got the numbers behind you. And all you got to do is show up. Do you realize right after the Civil War ended, this period they call the Reconstruction period, where you had, I'm here in South Carolina, you had like tens, I think hundreds of black people who were in the United States Congress, congressmen, senators. And at that time, back in the late 1870s, black Americans voted at a rate of 80%. 80% of all the black people who could vote, who were eligible to vote, voted. I think the highest voter turnout rate that we've had, it's been like in the upper 60s, and that was when Barack Obama ran the first time. Do you know what would happen if 80% of all the black people in America who was eligible to vote, voted? Man, it would be game over. It'd be a wrap. We could really turn this democracy around and make it where it would be fair and equitable for everybody. Because when poor people, when working class black people, Hispanic, Mexican, Cuban working class, Puerto Rican from Central America, wherever, South America, Native Americans, poor and working class Asian Americans, because you got poor and working. The majority of Asians are working class just like everybody else. So that movie, Rich Crazy Asians, has got y'all confused. That's propaganda too. Just talk to some Asian brothers and sisters that you know. If we, just alone as black people, if we turned out and voted at 80% of the registered African Americans, black folks in America, turned out to vote, our turnout rate was that high, then women, families would have affordable child care. Then we could put people in positions of power in the Senate, not just in the U.S. Senate, but local governments, your city governments. Then you wouldn't have to worry about police brutality because you could elect mayors who would then appoint a police chief that would make sure that all the police officers knew that what we're not going to do, we're not going to engage in police brutality. And all you white nationalists, all you domestic terrorists who stormed the Capitol, who's got your swastika and your Confederate flags, who are anti-black, you're not going to have a job on this force. We're not going to engage in hate in any form. No anti-blackness, no anti-Semitism, no anti-immigrant hate, no anti-Muslim, no religious bigotry, no homophobia, no transphobia, no misogyny, no sexism. We're not doing that. When you get in power, when you vote and use your power, and you can put people in positions that have those same beliefs and want that kind of country. And if they don't do the job right, guess what? In 2 or 4 years, you can vote their asses out of there. Just like you voted them in. Some of you all, some of my millennials and Gen Zers, you need to run for office. And the rest of us, our Gen Xers and baby boomers, we need to get behind these young men and young women, these young brothers and sisters, and support them. Put them up on game, give them the wisdom, knowledge, invest in them, invest in their campaigns, get out and knock on doors. Light their torch. You still good? I got my torch, but I want to light as many torches as I can. So when I put my torch down, I got a whole army of torches that I've lit to take the batons and keep running this race. Come on, that's how we got to do this thing. So if you know somebody that has not voted, I want you to listen. I want you to act like you are an Uber or a Lyft driver. I want you to pick them up. If you got to take them to get them something to eat before they get to the poll in Georgia, because you can't give people who are standing in line water or food. See how they are? They made it illegal. They made it illegal for you to give people food or water. But Georgia is an open carry state. So in theory, you can stand outside. You can't go in the polling place, but you can stand outside with a firearm, with a weapon. But you can't give somebody food or water that's hungry or thirsty if they're standing in line right now in Georgia. So I'm gonna need you to go pick up as many people as you can. Don't worry about gas. God will bless you, have favor, unless you're on E. We got one of these party buses. I'm gonna need you all to show up. Show up like you going to State Farm Arena, like you going to see, act like you're going to see Janet Jackson or Beyonce at Essence Festival. Act like you're going to see the Isley Brothers, like y'all did when they was at the Essence Festival this summer back in July. Act like you're going to the Super Bowl or the NBA All-Star Game. Stand in line like you were when you were trying to buy that $2 billion Powerball lottery ticket. Man, they got one winner out of California. Damn. I actually bought tickets, too. You would have seen me here, but it'd have been a new day. I'm just telling you that. So I need you to show up. It is not too late. Show up and show out and call everybody. Text everybody. Just send them a copy of this show. Just screen grab some of it. Screen grab 60 seconds of it or 2 minutes of it. Put it up on TikTok, on Instagram. Tweet it out. Put it out on Facebook. Put it up on your YouTube page or somebody else's. Grab it and put it up on their YouTube page. It is not too late. It is I'm going to tell you exactly what time it is. It is 4:28. I'm about to wrap up. It is 4:28 here on the East Coast. 3:28 in Chicago. 3:28 in Milwaukee. 4:28 in Detroit and in Philly. 4:28 in Atlanta. You still got at least another 2.5 hours. In Michigan, polls are closed at 8, so you got, you got 3.5 hours. It's only 1:28 in LA, so you got plenty of time. I'm gonna need you to show up and show out. Go grab somebody. Grab as many people as you can. Call all your fraternity and sorority brothers and sisters. Shout out to my Divine Nine, my Black Greeks, because I know you all about empowerment and voting and voter registration. But we going to need to knock on some doors. Holler some folks. Get them on the phone. FaceTime them. Conference call. Zoom meeting. Hey, all right, Zoom meeting. All of us need to show up at the polls right here, right now. A lot of cities like here in Charleston, if you tell them you're going to go vote, a CARTA, the company, like in Chicago, you got CTA, Charleston Area Transportation Authority, CARTA, you can ride the bus free. Just say I'm going to vote. And when you finish, get on the bus, say I just got through voting. Come on, man. Time for some action. No time for excuses. The time is right here, right now. My millennials, my Gen Zers, and everybody, believe in yourselves. Always bet on you. Always believe in you. I don't gamble, but they say in Vegas, always bet on black. And I'm rocking all black. But in Vegas, in life, the hell with Vegas, in life, I say always bet on you. Because nobody can beat you being the best version of you. And when you do that and step into your power, because the future, especially my millennials and Generation Zers, Gen Zers, the future is here. Right here, right now. And you are the future. So it's your time right here, right now. Your time to shine. Let's make it happen. Because this MAGA cult is going to cut Social Security. They're going to shut down the government. They're going to ban abortions. They're going to ban birth control pills. They're going to ban they're going to cancel condoms, fellas. So you better wake up. It's not my opinion. They've already said they're going to do it. And in closing, Sister, rest in peace, pair in paradise up in heaven, Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. 6 o'clock, part 2, special edition of the Geno Jones Show. Election Day special. Election Day, get out the vote. Special edition of the Geno Jones Show. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again, like what, 1.5 hours? 6 o'clock, so hour and a half. 6 p.m. Eastern time. Coming back, I have some guests up in Milwaukee, up in Wisconsin, up in Detroit. Maybe I can get somebody from Atlanta and find out what's going on. Does it look like the turnout, election day turnout? Because early voting has been off the chain, especially in Georgia and Pennsylvania. So come back at 6 o'clock. In the meantime, go ahead and screen grab some of the show. Just copy the whole link. Send it to somebody that's thinking about not voting, because this episode was specifically for them, and specifically for my millennials and my Gen Zers, because you got the power. Just bet on yourself. Believe in yourself. Because when you do that, nobody can stop you. The only person that can stop you really is you. So when you decide to get out of your own way and shut off all those voices, those streaming services like negative Netflix or hating on you, Spotify, when you just shut down that streaming service, the voices that tell you that you can't do it, or you ain't gonna do it, you can't do it, you ain't never gonna be nothing, your mama wasn't nothing, your daddy wasn't nothing, that does not determine your destiny. Your DNA does not determine your destiny. You got a say in that. It might determine some health outcomes, but it does not determine your destiny. You get a chance to decide what you want to do with your life. Future's yours. Bet on yourself. Believe in yourself. Sky's the limit. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you 6 p.m. Eastern, hour and a half live right here. Part 2 of the Geno Jones Show. Shout out to everybody in my chat room, my number one fan, my executive producer. I see my mother there and everybody else watching. I got a lot of folks tuning in. Thank you, guys. Tell some more folks to join us at 6 o'clock, part 2. In the meantime, I need you to call somebody. Go to your barbershop. Not even if it's your barbershop. Just go to the barbershop in your neighborhood, hair salon, or back in the day they called them, my mother would call them beauty shops. Tell some folks who haven't voted. I'm going to take y'all to the polls. Take them to get them some fast food or something. Take them to go vote. And tell them why. Or just show them a little bit of this show. Tell them what I said. Tell them just to bet on themselves and believe in themselves. They got the power. Step into your power, use it. That's why people are making it so hard for you to vote, because they don't. That's why they're lying to you and posing like they're like black people and telling you, oh, you can trust black folks. They are. You see all this racism on social media because I gotta just click something. I gotta get out of here. They are afraid of your power, and what they don't realize is that we're not going to use our power against anybody. Listen, America should be lucky. If black people wanted revenge, you wouldn't have had an America. We want to be treated equal and left alone. And if we want to do business with you, or if we want to hang out with you, fine. I don't want what's yours. I can get mine. Get out of my way. And don't create a system of oppression and institutionalized racism and laws and a society to oppress me. Don't do that. I'll get it on my own. I think James Brown had a song to the effect, something he would say, like, Just get out the way. I don't need nobody to give me nothing. You don't even have to open up the door. But I think he said, open up the door, and he said, open up the door, and I'll get it myself. You don't even have to open up the door. Just don't rig the door. Don't take the door handle off. Don't break the lock. I'll get in, and I'll get it myself. Just get out my way. See you at 6 p.m. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.
It was always my ardent desire to come back home and serve my community. Hello, I am Dr. Shardell Murray, and I am your state representative for District 116, serving Charleston and Colleton County. And I humbly seek your support November 8th to re-elect me, Dr. Shardell Murray, for your next state representative. You want someone who's compassionate, who knows the wants and needs and the desire of the people in the area, and someone who will fight for you. So let me continue to be your voice on November 8th. Please go out and support me, Dr. Shardell Murray, for your next state representative. And experience matters at the Capitol. So I know what it takes to make a community thrive. So I'm humbly seeking